In this video, we're going to look at how to use the grid component in Elements. Now, this is an essential component for laying out your content. I've got a demo project here, and we're going to go through some of the things the grid can do. So right now I've got a container here, and we want to add a grid into here. So I'm going to go to my components and scroll down until we find a grid, and I'm just going to drop it into the main area. Now, once we've dropped in, we see that it has this drop zone to the left here, and the rest of it is empty. So we've highlighted the grid, and if I go to columns and rows, this is where we can change the settings for the grid. And you'll see in here we have the preview columns, which we can switch on and off. And if I switch this on, this will give you a nice preview showing you how many columns are in your grid. And see, with the column setting here, we can change the amount of columns each grid is made up of. Now I want to leave mine at 2 columns because I want a 2-column grid. And what I would like is I'd like some text on the left hand side and an image on the right. So what I can do, and this is fairly basic stuff, I can just drop some text into my grid, and you can see it here, and we'll go and find an image. And we'll take this image and we'll drop it into the other side of the grid. Now you see here the lines appear above and below, and that's because it's trying to place the item above or below the grid. But we want to place it in the next column. So you can see we need it horizontally, not vertically. And you can see a little blue line appears here when my component hovers in that area. So I'm going to drop it there. And now we've got some text and an image in our grid. Now we don't need to preview the columns anymore, so I'm going to switch that off because that's just a visual reference. Now the image and the text are butted up together right close to each other, and we would like some spacing in this. So we can set the gap either horizontally or vertically, and you can just pick a number. So here you can see that increasing slightly. Let's pick a large number so we can see it better. There you go. So if we had more items, we could set the vertical spacing. And let me just duplicate this image so that we can see how that's looking. And you can see these butted up to each other. And all we need to do is just set the vertical spacing. And now we've got this nice space between those. And we'll set this to the same. Boom. And what we could do, if I delete this text, and let's just duplicate this image, we now have 4 images, and they're all nicely spaced together. And of course, we can change the grid at any time. So perhaps I don't want 2 columns. I want to increase this, and I want a 4-column grid. So all the images are in line. So it's as easy as that. And this is the basics of the grid. Now there's a lot more advanced things we can do, which I'm going to get onto in a minute. So with this, you can set this how you want it to look, and you can obviously mix items in here. So we can just go ahead and drop in some text, and we could drop in a button. Now everything I drop in here only takes up 1 grid item, and you're probably already thinking, well, sometimes I might want a title above this text here, or I might want this text and then a button here, and how can I get them all to be to build those kind of layouts? And it's really quite simple once you know. So I'm going to clear up this grid a little bit. We're going to delete a lot of these things, and I'm going to switch my grid back to 2 columns. And in fact, let's get rid of our text as well. So now, because I know I want to build something which is a little bit more complex, let me show you here. You might want to do something like this, where you've got a paragraph and or a heading and a paragraph in 1 column. Now to do that, I'm going to use another container in here. So I'm going to drop the container into the grid, and perhaps I'm going to drop another one as well. So now we've got 2 containers, and all we need to do is drop our items into the container. So let's drop some text in here, and this is our title. And then we want some more text. So I can style this one here, and we'll set this up to be a little bit larger and heavier. So you can see this all stays in 1 column. Whatever I put in here, if I drop a button in, it's all going to stay in this column, which is great. So let me just fix the spacing on this. this at 0. So this is looking pretty good, and we might want a bit more spacing in between these. So this is a bit of a detour, but on this container, on the content layer, I'm just going to set a bit of a gap, 5, boom, so we get some nice spacing. So working this way, we can build up layouts within the grid. So it's really flexible. We can duplicate this, and now I've got these 2 columns, and they can both, you can design them however you like. We could drop this down here, have the button at the top. So really flexible, and change these at any time to how you want. So that's how we can group content together in grid items. So I'm going to scroll down here now, and this item, this grid here, you can see this is taking up, it's not split in half. We have on the left hand side, this grid item is taking up more space than this one, and this is quite a common layout because you might want some main content and then you might want a sidebar like this. So how do we do this? Well, let's delete a few of these things so this is cleaner for us. And what I'm going to do on these 2 containers, I am going to put a background color so we can see what we're working with. Let's go white. And I'm going to put some spacing on these as well, both top and bottom, left and right. Let's put 5 on there. So we can just see a bit more what we're doing. And we want to replicate this layout down here. So at the moment, my grid is set to 3. And what I can do, I can take this container, and this is where things start getting more advanced. And this is why you might want to put your items in a container, because we can go to the Flexbox and grid settings on that container, and we can say, I want this to be a grid item. And by doing that, we get a lot more options. We get some standard options, which we're going to look at first, and some advanced options. But let's stick to the standard options for now. And we can tell our container how many columns it should take up. So at the moment it's just taking up 1, but we can switch it to 2, and that way we get this nice layout where the main container is taking up more space and this sidebar is taking up just 1 column, because this is a 3-column grid. And we can obviously, for more control, we can increase this and say, well, for this container, let's switch it to grid item. I want this to be 2. And for this container, I'm going to set it to 3. And now this is looking a bit nicer, and it matches this one here. So I could increase this all the way up to 12 and have even finer grain control. And this is great, especially if you want to add more items. So at the moment, the columns are set to 5. Then we've got 3 columns here and 2 columns there, and they equal 5, and that's why it fills the space. So if I increase this to 7, we're going to need another container here to make 7, because currently we've got 3 and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's duplicate this one, and it fits perfectly. But if this is set to 3, it's going to jump down to the next line because there's not enough space for it to sit here. And that's fine, because we might want to do something like this. And this allows us to build these really flexible layouts. So maybe we'll change this one and we'll fit this to 5, I think. 5, there we go. And now we've got this really interesting layout. And this is how you can build up these complex layouts with grid and containers. If I scroll down here, you'll see I've just got an example. This grid has 3 columns and each container is set to 1. And on this grid here is set to 3. These are set to 1. Now this is a new variation on what we've been looking at. We've just been looking at columns, but this container here takes up 2 rows, and that means it's going to stretch out and fill as many rows as you set. So that's why it's taking up this space here when these are set to auto, which is essentially 1. So let's go back to our top example, and we'll delete this one and this one. And so we've got this container. Let's switch this down to 5. what I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate this container because we want to mimic that layout. So on here, we're going to need to make this 2, so it sits next to this one. And let's just duplicate this, and we want that to appear at the bottom there. So we want this one to take up 2 rows, and so all we need to do is increase this like this, and now this fills those 2 rows. And if we set it to 3, 4, you can see not much happens because we don't have anything in this 3rd row to fill it up. So let's duplicate this, boom, and you can see that starts to fill up. And you could continue doing this, or if we duplicate this again, we could then put something like this, or we could set this one to 2, and this could take up 3. So you can see this is really, really flexible, really powerful. And once you understand working with columns and rows, you can do some absolutely fantastic things. So let's have a look at something else. Like I said, we're just looking at the standard controls here, and I want to switch to advanced, and there's a lot of settings in here. And basically you can set the start and end columns and rows for things. So at the moment this is set to 2 columns, and as we know, our column of our grid has 5 spaces. So what we can do, we can tell this to move along and actually start in position 2, 3 or 4. So this really does allow you to do some very nice layouts, really flexible stuff. And it's the same with the rows. If we come here, we can go to advanced, and we could tell the row start to change. This is obviously jumping around because the grid will move and to accommodate the other items if there's space for them. But this is really powerful stuff, and you can align those however you want. And there's some alignment options there. Check out the manual for more information on all these, because it's a really complex options, but it does allow you to build really complex layouts should you want to. What we can also do, we can also override where the components are. So we can set them to auto, which will be in the position you set them, or you can override that and tell it to appear first, last, or a custom number. But this requires the other grid items to also be set. And why would you want to do this? This might be for when you're doing mobile layouts. And I think it's important we have a look at that. So I'm going to delete these, and we're going to go back. We're just going to have a 2-column grid, and we're going to set this to 1. Yeah, let's go back to, and we'll set this to 1. So we're back nice and simple. Now let's drop an image in here, and let's get some, let's have a little something nicer to look at. So we've got some text and an image, and this is important for the responsive breakpoints as well, if you're building for desktop and mobile. So if I go to mobile, you can see these are squashed up together, and that might not be what we want. What we actually want on mobile is for the columns to be 1 on the grid, so we don't get these side by side, we get them above each other. And then when we have enough room, like on here, we want to override this. And again, you can watch the videos on how to do this. We've got some responsive videos that will teach you how to work with breakpoints and how to build for mobile and desktop devices. But I'll assume you know that, or you can go and watch this after. But that's what we're doing here. So I'm going to set the blue dot and then set it to 2 columns when we get to this size. So on mobile, we've got 1 column, and then next up we've got 2 columns. And we could obviously change that for each breakpoint. Now, this is what I want on when we're on these larger sizes. And when I go down here, I actually want the text to appear underneath the image. So how do we do that? Well, there's various ways we can do it. I'm going to select a container, and I'm going to go to advanced, and this is where we want to set the order. So I actually want this to appear under the image, so I'm going to say last. which is great. But then when I go out to these bigger sizes, you can see it's still last, but we can override it and say I want this to be first or auto. So now when we make this responsive design smaller, the image appears at the top and the text appears at the end. But when we jump to this size, the text appears first and the image appears last. So if you learn the grid, you can really do these amazing layouts and get your site working perfectly on mobile, tablet, and desktop with these amazing responsive controls. So that's about it for this video. I think that covers all the basics of the grid. There's obviously a lot more you can do with it, and you can do some absolutely wonderful layouts. If I just scroll down here, you can see this example. We have a great example of using different columns and rows and spacing it all out. So you can do some really wonderful layouts and make them completely responsive, all visually in Elements. So I hope this tutorial has been useful for you and you understand the grid a little bit more now. There's a lot to learn with the grid and a lot of options, but if you add a grid to your page, add the container, then you're well away and you can start designing. If you have any more questions about laying out text or images in your grid, do check the manual and do hop over to the forum and ask your questions there, because we're always around to help out. All right, thanks for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.